All right, everybody. Indiana head coach Teri Moren will make an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
I'm super happy, proud of our group tonight and the way that we got the lead, lost the lead, and then fought our way back. Three people obviously fouled out. We played a double big tonight, which we've never done. And then, give credit to Z makes a big play down the stretch. And then I thought, obviously Journey's bucket was huge. A kid that hasn't seen a lot of playing time. So took a lot of courage, and she answered the bell for us there at the end. So great win. In an environment that had very few Hoosiers here and more Florida State fans. But I'm really, really proud of our players and just how they handled themselves. We had some adversity and they handled themselves great.
Seth, go ahead.
Teri, obviously it's early in the season. This is only game 4, but how much do you learn about your team and what this group is kind of made of mentally on a night like tonight? All the resiliency you showed. Obviously, they went up by 9 points in the third quarter. They had that huge run. It kind of seemed like it was starting to fall apart. Just
Right.
How much do you learn about what this team is made of on a night like tonight?
Well, I mean, Seth, I think I'm still learning a whole lot about this team. And, we as a staff are, and I think we're learning, a lot about each other, and so I think it goes hand in hand. I don't, but again, just the way that I thought we handled adversity. We had Shea foul out, we had Phoenix foul out, Vea, all of it. I mean, it was,
For the most part,
I'm not Vea, Odessa, just the way we got down and we came back and we stuck together. And we made, we really made some nice plays there in the fourth, which, I was really proud of. And, just to see them, it could have gone, like you said, one of two ways. We could have done what we did, or we could have, kind of folded because we're on the road and, not performed at the level that we needed to be able to come back in the game. And so it tells me that we have a chance, with this group to continue to grow and get better. As you mentioned, it's early. I don't think that, we're still going to have those moments where, we have not, off nights. And, but tonight was a good night for us. I thought after the performance in Marshall, there was a lot of frustration on all of our parts. The way that they responded, I thought today we had a couple days of a lot of heart to hearts, but also meetings, clarity meetings, role meetings, with them, just to give them clarity on what we needed, what we're asking of every one of them.
Sammy and then Savannah.
Coach, I think Lene put it as you lovingly challenged her after the Marshall game. What was your message to her? And then how did you like the response of her getting a career high in points and leading the team to a win?
Well, I'm glad she used the word lovingly. And I love Bo. But Bo knows this. Bo has to have nights like tonight for us. Shea obviously was great. Z, but I've been waiting for Bo to show more aggressiveness, offensively for us. I think she's an outstanding player. I think she's a player that we're counting on to help us, not just defensively, but certainly offensively, and to be a scoring threat for us. So it was great to be able to see, watch and some of those long shots go in, because I think that's where she's been a little frustrated. We need her to be more aggressive. But speaking of Beaumont, but I, for her to see some of those threes go down tonight, I think is really big for her. So very proud of her.
Savannah, and then back to Seth.
Yeah, you mentioned the fouls earlier, but and you had quite a few in foul trouble. How do you kind of get the team to continue to stay aggressive but also play clean?
Well, I mean, I think it's constant communication with them, as far as they know. I mean, they all want to stay on the floor. This is a very physical game. I know you guys weren't here, to see it, but I know you watched it. And it probably didn't tell the tale of just how physical this game was. They were physical, with us, of course, the officials told me that they felt the same way about us, you know, being as physical. So, you know, it's something that, you know, we don't want to be a high fouling team. And so that's where our discipline really has to kick in. But you know, I don't know, maybe in hindsight, it might not have been a bad thing for that to happen tonight to us, because it really forced us to have to play some of those guys on the bench. And it's their opportunity when their number's called to come in and shine. And I thought that they did. So that's really good.
Seth and then Sean.
Yeah, Terry, specifically, I guess you guys had, you know, Florida State made that run the third quarter. You guys went down 9 and you called timeout and just, you know, like I said, kind of trying to just keep things together. What did you say to your team in that huddle late in the third quarter to kind of, you know, calm everybody down, keep things on track? And how did they respond, you know, end of the third quarter going into the fourth?
Right. Well, again, you know, it was us just telling them that, look, we're not out of this thing yet. You know, we have to get stops. That's where it starts. And then at that moment, it just felt like we were having a hard time. We got some good looks, they just weren't going down for us. And so you just keep reminding them, you know, that those shots are going to fall and they got to take them when they're open. You know, Odessa popped out and she hit a big 3 for us, you know, there in the fourth, off a little slip action that we like to run. And she was, you know, Z made the right play and she nailed it from outside the arc. So, you know, there's things like that happen, you know, obviously Journey's last play, you know, I hope it just gives them all confidence, you know, that when we do put them in, that we do believe in them and, we want them to, you know, impact the game. But, you know, it was just trying to keep us together. You know, we talked about it, you know, sticks in a bundle are hard to break. And so it's constant communication with us, just sticking together, you know, throughout the, you know, the highs and the lows of the game. And, you know, Bo was very instrumental in that. Shay, even though she was in foul trouble, you know, Shay was over there in those huddles and she was coaching them up as well. And so they were all collectively, you know, all about how we were going to finish the game. And even I think, you know, one of the last ones, it was like, we're going to finish this thing, we're going to win it, and we're going to get out of here. And so, you know, saying all the right things, which is a step in the right direction for sure.
Sean and then Sammy.
Yeah, Terry, with Florida State having Davis, who's 6'6", I think, just what was kind of the game plan of trying to kind of get her out of the game with Z and Odessa being 6'3" and kind of giving up that size?
You know, it's just try to be physical with her, try to push her off the block. You know, that's where she takes the majority of her shots. And so that was really the scouting report on her, you know, she is, and then try to keep her off the glass. You know, she is 6'6". She's, you know, was a big target for us to really try to, not allow her to come away with a lot of those offensive rebound putbacks, offensive rebound kickouts. But I thought we were physical with her from the beginning. And, you know, what she ended up having, how many rebounds did she have? 7. How many offensive? 5. So she's, I mean, that's a big kid. You know, we don't have you know, we're giving up a few inches. And so you really, they gotta dig deep into their grittiness and just being relentless to try to keep her off the glass.
Sammy and then Seth.
Coach, Z took a tumble there at the end of the game. Is she okay?
She's
And then-
good. Yeah, she was cramping a little bit. Yep.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. And then what makes her such a good rebounder? She had 13 rebounds tonight. I think 7 on the offensive side and 6 on the offensive side, 7 on the defensive side. Is it her footwork? Is it positioning? Because she looks real smooth down low with the footwork as well.
I think a couple things. First of all, she was cramping, and so she's good. She does that a lot. This is the kid that she works so hard, and she has a lot of you know, a lot of sweat coming out of that body. And so you know, we got to make sure that we keep her hydrated, you know, throughout practice and throughout games. But she's fine. You know, here's the thing with Z. She's a phenomenal athlete. But she's also one of the most coachable players I've ever had the opportunity to coach. And she and Paul work relentlessly in Cook Hall every day, every morning on her footwork, on her, the shots that she's going to in games, passing, ball handling, you name it. And so those guys have a great relationship. And I think Paul's been very, very instrumental, but also good for Z, you know, in terms of just helping her grow her game, develop her game. And it gives her great confidence, you know, because Paul really kind of tries to stretch her too, to try to grow her game. And I think she likes that part of it. But yeah, she's been an anchor for sure on the inside for us.
We'll wrap it up with Seth.
Yeah, Terry, you talked about the, overall frustration coming out of the Marshall game, and just obviously you won that game, but y'all didn't play the way you wanted to. Just, I guess, what was your messaging to the team coming out of that game the last few days? How did they respond, in practice and film coming into this game? And just how big is, coming a performance like tonight, coming off of the game like that? How big can that be for the rest of the way?
Oh, it's crazy to think that we won and we were still so solely disappointed, maybe on the verge, a little bit of embarrassment for how we turned the ball over. And so I think everybody, especially Bo, especially Shay, Z, really took that to heart. Like, we have to grow. We have to get so much better. We have to be so much, and it's not that we're not serious. Remembering, it's the reps that they get, it's the stuff we do in practice, but it's also the game prep and making sure that we understand coverages and we understand where we're supposed to be on easy out of bounds plays for us, right? We still have players that will end up cutting to the wrong areas, and because of it, it botches up our any kind of execution. And so, we like I said, we hit them hard. I had a pretty in-depth role clarity meeting with them. And I think it was good for them to hear like what we as coaches are expecting and what we're wanting from them and needing from them in order for this thing to work the way we want it. And so I thought they responded to that really well. Their attention to detail the last couple days, especially when we left left Bloomington and got here last night, this morning, I think it was really, really good. And so those are the things that, again, they're learning, right? This is new for a lot of them. Some of them have never prepped like this. We take a lot of pride in those scouting reports and making sure our kids, feel very comfortable about the scouting report. So, still got a lot of work to do. But again, it feels a whole lot better. It's weird. You win and you think everything's great, not great, but you feel good about it, right? This feels a little bit different for us tonight. I think maybe because we had to fight, to come back and win. And it's a win, but it feels differently for us. And I think they feel it, which is a really, really good sign. And hopefully we can, get back to Bloomington, and we got a really good Butler team that, put a nod on our head last year. So we'll have to, get back and get ready for the Bulldogs.
Seth, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you,
Thanks.
guys.